Hi, and welcome to SimpleSpiritualityPH. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Regine. I am an intuitive, manifesting-based tarot reader. I am a certified Reiki healer and an overall lightworker. And before we dive into today's episode, I would like to invite everyone who would like to receive notifications of my new videos to please hit the subscribe button over there. If you like this video later on, please give it your thumbs up. If you have any comments or suggestions you want to say, hey, just comment down below. And if you would like your very own tarot reading or Reiki healing session with me, online for now, of course, we'll hear the details. Alrighty, so let's get to the meat of the video. Now, this video is going to be very quick, I think, but it's something that's really important, and I just suddenly remembered it just this week, actually. Now, so here's the backstory. I have an office mate, and he always tends to say negative things. And so one of the things, and I mean, if you've been on my channel, you've heard me say whatever we focus on expands, because it's the truth. And so I noticed that as he was saying all these negative things, as he was kind of like describing all the possible scenarios that could happen, and I would say this, though, that this is very typical of people in my line of work, because we work with risk and analytics, and so we always have to think about what could go wrong, right? But I noticed that as he was saying these things, he was actually speaking it into existence. Whatever he said would come true, and would probably have like an offshoot of that would happen. And that is because, again, what we focus on expands. And it doesn't matter if we were consciously manifesting something, whether we were consciously manifesting something good or bad. The moment we declare something, it becomes a thing into existence. You start to experience that on your 3D world and your palpable reality, you know? So one of the things, or actually the main thing rather, that I would like to expound on this video is to not jinx yourself. Don't jinx yourself. This is what I tell my office mate too. I mean, we're really close, and I tell him, just don't jinx yourself. You're gonna jinx yourself if you keep doing that. And I would always, actually, what I do is I talk some fear into him. I keep on telling him, if you keep saying that, that's gonna happen. You know what? I'm gonna be here, and it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna say, I told you so. And for the next couple of times that he started to do that, he kept on doing that rather, he noticed that it was happening. Every bad thing that he was saying was happening, and it was just so funny. Now he always catches himself. Whenever he says something negative, whenever he says something that's opposition to what he wants, he's just going to say, oh no, I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx myself. And that is because it's the truth. So it's a funny story. It's a funny backstory, but I notice that a lot of my clients do this as well. They tend to think of all the ways that things could go wrong and not focus on the things that are going bad. Now, I did a video on that exactly, on focusing on the thing that is going bad instead of going focusing on the things that are going right instead of the things that are going bad. I'll leave it linked up here or here. Just look for it in either one. It'll pop up. And it's the same thing here. It's the same kind of message. Don't jinx yourself, guys. I mean, I could not say it any, there's no other way to say it, but if you have a tendency of thinking of all the different scenarios, how things could go wrong, you can use this entire year, to start weaning yourself out of that mindset, because that is what we call a defeatist mindset. And that actually springs from the comfort of, that actually springs from the feeling of you being more comfortable not having taken a step versus taking a step and feeling much worse. And Dr. Joseph Murphy has actually written about this in his book, the power of your subconscious mind. And I also did a video on that. I'll leave it linked up here or down here again. But yeah, so what happens is basically the mindset of jinxing yourself is kind of like a support system. What happens is you try to look for all the things that it could go wrong, that things could go wrong in order to have a backup plan, in order not to fail, not knowing that the act of thinking about failure is actually sealing the deal, not the actual thing that's happening itself. The moment you think about failure, the moment you think about something negative happening to you, that's where it happens. That's where it becomes a reality. All right? It's sealed in here before it's out here on the 3D reality. This is true if you are a conscious manifester. You'll notice this very easily in your life. This is true if you're not a conscious manifester. You'll still notice it very easily in your life. This is true for all spiritual people as well. Whatever we focus on expands. So really, I think it's best to, this year, make that commitment to ourselves to get out of that jinxing ourselves mindset. Get out of thinking of all the ways that it could go wrong and think of all the ways that are going right. I'll think of all the ways that it could go right, rather. I know it's quite difficult because we weren't really raised to think this way. In fact, we were actually raised to think of the worst case scenario because we want to preserve ourselves. The mindset is usually all about, okay, I will think of what if this happens? What if this happens? I'll have a backup for it. I'll have a backup for it. Right? And that's certainly the most common way that we were told to think, right? As we were growing old. And of course, I'm saying this as an assumption. But it's really time to start thinking of all the possibilities rather than having any kind of impossibility. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this year, make that commitment to yourself to slowly wean yourself out of that jinxing mindset. You don't really have to prepare for something that hasn't happened yet. Remember Michael Jordan saying that quote to the effect of, why would I worry about a shot that I haven't, why would I worry about missing a shot that I haven't taken yet? Right? I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but yet you're already worrying about it. And not knowing that worry, the more you focus on it, the more you give it, airtime in your head, that's what actually seals the deal, and not the actual experience itself, because it was preventable in the first place. All right? So this year, make the commitment of stop jinxing yourself, make a game out of it. How many ways can it go right versus how many ways could it go wrong? Thinking of all the ways that it could go wrong is so easy, but it's also very easy to manifest that in your life. So make it a game. Make it your next goal of how many ways can this thing, this particular scenario, this particular area of my life, how many ways can it go right? And stop jinxing yourself. Make it happen. Make that commitment to yourself. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, please give it your thumbs up. If you have any comments or suggestions you want to say hey, just comment down below. If you would like to receive notifications of my new videos, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you would like your very own tarot reading or Reiki healing session with me, online for now, of course, here are the details. And yes, I will see you guys next time. Stay happy, stay healthy, stop jinxing yourself, Think of all the ways that it could go right. And yes, ciao for now.